Hello and a very warm welcome. Driver ratings for the Italian Grand Prix. All 20 drivers covered as we rate them out of 10. We give a detailed description of why we give that mark. And we try to do it as fair as possible. A historic day for McLaren as they claimed a 1-2 and a first victory since Brazil 2012. And we saw the two title rivals collide again. And Max got a 3-place penalty for Russia. Interesting, as I see it, the complete opposite way. I've not changed my mind. I've watched it a good 3-4 times. I've not changed my mind how I felt yesterday. So, let's get into it. All 20 drivers covered. We start with George Russell. 9. Scored points again. Announced he was a Mercedes driver. He scored points again. I actually thought Latifi was better than him. P15 in the sprint. Latifi was actually better in my view. I was only going to give George 8, but he did score points. Again, he got P9 in the race. He could get P8 yet, we don't know, with Stroll's penalty. Stroll's penalty has not been given yet, so as I record this. Nicholas Latifi, 9. He's really looking strong now. Obviously staying with the team for another year. Beat George in the race. P14 in the sprint. Finishes P11. He was running in the points, Latifi. Don't know what happened. Maybe something under the safety car. Like George got a free pit stop. Or something when the safety car came out. Yeah, if Stroll gets a penalty, he will score points. Latifi, in my opinion, was better than Russell this weekend. I was impressed. Pierre Gasly, 0. Now he had another amazing quali, P6. In the sprint, he touched the back of Ricardo, and then he went off at Curva Grande. And then when it got to the main race, he did 5 laps and retired. So Gasly really messed up his weekend, and that's why we give him 0. And a disaster for AlphaTauri, as both cars were out the race in 5 laps. Yuki Tsunoda, 5. Retired. Didn't even get to start the race due to a brake issue. Absolute disaster for AlphaTauri. Had contact with Kubica in the sprint race. Just standard 5 for Yuki as he didn't get to do the race. Sebastian Vettel, 5. Now, FP1 he was 6. P12 in the sprint. In the main race, he got absolutely duffed up. I actually feel sorry for him. Right at the start of the race, he got bashed by his teammate, lost 4 places. Mick hit him, and then Ocon, pushed him off. So Vettel got really done up by everyone. P12 in the race. Lance Stroll, 7. Now, he did finish 7th in the race, but he's under investigation. We see what happens with that. P10 in the sprint. Probably I should give him a higher mark, but because he's under investigation, we don't know what's going to happen with that. So I was a bit cautious to go balls out and give him an 8 or 9. We see what happens. Usually not slowing under yellows is an instant penalty. Lewis Hamilton. Now, I think not many people. Lewis Hamilton, I've got to say 0. Absolutely 0. A Mercedes track, and Max actually extended the championship lead. So FP1 fastest, FP2 fastest, but the sprint race, he completely bottled the start, lost more points to Max. And then the main race, I still stand by that it was Hamilton's fault. The jury's out on this one. A lot of people blaming Max, and Max has got the penalty. But not for me. I say it how I see it. I'm a massive Lewis fan, but I thought he was at fault. I mean, he just didn't leave Max enough room. Max was comfortably alongside, and Hamilton just takes the corner if he's not there. So, Lewis should have gave him more room, and then we would have gone up to Curva Grande Della Roggia. And on lap 1, he tried to go round the outside of Max, backed out of it. But I think it was Lewis's fault. It's an awful weekend. Mercedes should win at this track, and he's lost more points to Max. We bounce back at Russia. Valtteri Bottas 10. Announced that he was going to Alfa Romeo. He was sensational this weekend, and my driver of the weekend. He was absolutely sensational. I mean, wow. It was... If he was like this the whole time in his Mercedes career, he wouldn't be getting dropped. I mean, he got pole position. He won the sprint. He came from the back to P3, got a podium. He was passing everyone. Great moves. And that was the Valtteri Bottas that we want to see week in, week out. 4 years too late, Valtteri. But he was my driver of the weekend. He was world class this weekend. Lando Norris, 10. A 1-2 for McLaren. Massive points in the Constructors. Norris played the team game. He put an amazing move on Charles Leclerc, and that was a key moment of the race. And then he played the team game and came home second. Daniel Ricardo, 10. Now, Daniel Ricardo has had an awful season. What a way to bounce back. I mean, wow. P3 in the sprint, that meant he qualified second. He got a perfect start, dominated the race, literally led start to finish. World class, the old Daniel Ricardo. Massive points on Ferrari in the Constructors, a 1-2. First win for the team since Brazil 2012. And Ricardo's 8th win. And great to see Ricardo with a smile back on his face. Yeah, brilliant by Ricardo. And he got the fastest lap. Carlos Sainz, 5. Now, the reason I give him 5, huge crash again in practice 2. He's got to stop crashing the car. Too many crashes for Sainz. He gets P6 in the race. Solid job. But yeah, bad day in the Constructors for Ferrari. Sainz has got to stop them crashes. Good in the races, but can't crash that much. Charles Leclerc, 10. Absolutely 10. Unbelievable. He battered Sainz all weekend. He finishes 4th in the race. Benefits from Perez's penalty. But it was a big opportunity missed. I feel like Leclerc could have got a podium. And not a good day in the Constructors. Max, 8. He was lacking pace on Friday. But in the sprint, he finished P2. Then he started on pole. Didn't get a great launch. Behind Ricardo, couldn't overtake. Then a horror pit stop. That's where the race changed. Max was comfortably ahead of Lewis. Had a horror pit stop, 11 seconds. Came out alongside, like when Lewis pitted, they came out side by side. For me, Max, he put the move on. Lewis didn't give him enough room. Over the sausage curb, bounced into Hamilton. Yeah, they collide again. And Max got the penalty and will take a 3-place penalty for Russia. I'm staggered with that. I see it the totally opposite way. I don't know if I'm the only one that sees it the opposite way. I'm staggered by that decision, really. I don't think Max did. I mean, he went for an overtake. He was up the inside. I don't see how he's got a penalty for that. I honestly don't. And I'm being 100% genuine. I'm baffled by that one. Sergio Perez, 5. Now, Perez, what do you do? It's a horror quali. He tows Max, which is great for the team game. But Bottas gave a tow and he was on pole. Perez was P9. Then he's on for the podium. He basically cuts the Della Roggia. Just stays ahead of Charles Leclerc. Has to give the place back. Just stays ahead. And then gets a 5-second penalty. And it costs him a podium. He had the podium in the bag. He didn't give the place back. Absolutely done by Sergio Perez. Giovinazzi, 7. Again, a mega Saturday. And on Sunday, it goes tits up. P8 in the sprint. Qualifies P7 for the race. Cut the Della Roggia. Sainz hit him up the back. Damaged his wing. And he ends up finishing... He got a 5-second penalty. He ended up finishing 13th. Great on a Saturday. A horrible Sunday. Kubica, 7. Again, he did a very solid job. He's not been driving the car full time. He finished P14. In the sprint, got spun by Tsunoda. I thought he did a good job, Kubica, so 7. Mazepin, 5. Standard 5 for Mazepin as he retired from the race. Another bit of contact with Mick Schumacher, 5-second penalty. But Mazepin actually beat Schumacher in the sprint. So, of course, you can hammer Mazepin like I did at Zandvoort. But to be fair, he beat Mick in the sprint. Mick Schumacher, 5. Very average, really. Beaten by Mazepin in the sprint. In the normal race, hit by Mazepin. Ends up P15. Yeah, nothing really to say wow about. Standard. Fernando Alonso, 7. Now, yeah, I feel Alpine missed a big opportunity. The likes of Alpine, Aston Martin, McLaren are 1-2. It's an opportunity to gain big points, and Alpine didn't really take it. Great move on Sebastian Vettel in the sprint. Big chance with a crazy race, and they didn't really take it, Alpine. I mean, he got P8. Yeah, was never really on for the podium, were they, Alpine? And you've got Max Lewis out the race. Solid job, but not great. Ocon, 6. Contact with Vettel, he got a 5-second penalty. P10, yeah, just good points for the team, but yeah, it was a crazy race. You think they would capitalise. So there we have it. All 20 drivers rated for the Italian Grand Prix. We have a couple of weeks off now and we go to Russia. We're going to do some videos in between. Keep an eye on the channel as we bring daily F1 videos. And we give a detailed analysis of our mark. Comment down below your thoughts. Of course, driver ratings causes a bit of debate. But yeah, I try to be fair as possible. Yeah, just buzzing McLaren won again. And yeah, keep your eyes on the channel. Daily F1 videos. We've got sprint race, success or failure. Probably going to have to do a McLaren video. Yeah, we've got some videos coming. I've got some ideas in the pipeline. George Russell, Hamilton as teammates. Is it going to be a bit of friction? Yeah. Comment down below, like, Max Lewis. That could be a good video, actually. Let's look in more detail at that incident and who was at fault. I'm staggered by that decision. Daniel Ricardo, wow. Back on top of the world. Fastest lap. Race win. 26 points. Wow. Yeah, great to see the smile back. Great to see the shoey. Adios. What a weekend for McLaren. Back on top of the world.